Well, let's just get to work. Spent our mornings fishing and getting drunk at the Don Quixote, so might behoove us to do some work at some point. Oh, yeah, it's these two clowns from last night, the ones that were harassing the girl. Nakajima went up to them and was like, hey, stop that. They punched him, and Kiryu went apeshit on their asses. Well, they've come to pay things back. Yeah, Kiryu doesn't recognize himself at first, but he's like, dude, I like fought like 30 guys last night. Like, come on. Like, I don't remember everybody I fought. For you, the day when Kiryu Kazuma kicked your ass was the greatest day of your life. For me, it was Monday night. Anyways, these guys have brought a friend with it. Here's Nagata-san, their buddy. Looks like he forgets things a lot, so he writes a lot of things down on his clothes just so he doesn't forget. It's like the guy in Memento, just doesn't tattoo himself. And it turns out he's a member of the Nagasugai Devil Killers. It's a racing gang. And I guess we're supposed to feel intimidated because this guy's a gang member.
Yeah.
And Kiryu's kind of pissed off, like guys, don't try this in front of the place where I work. And it's kind of a dumb move because all of them are like, oh, so you work here, so you're a taxi driver. And this is just kind of a regular fight, really. Not super tough, but now having said that, I'm probably going to get work because I suck. But I did do some leveling up in the meantime and got used to the fighting system again. I think that's what my biggest problem was. Yeah, I don't even care. I'm just lighting a cigarette. Okay, well, that didn't really work in my favor. Climax heat. I should mention this a bit. If you look in the upper left there, that glowing red dragon thing, that's your climax heat meter. That fills up as you do heat actions. And once it's full, you can unleash like a really powerful super heat combo. And I guess I didn't take advantage of the fact those guys were scared shitless after witnessing that. Yeah, I don't even care. And I was just doing that to do this. Yep, anytime you're in a fight, you can hit down to light a cigarette, and from that you can do the cigarette heat action. Kiryu tells him not to start anything in front of his workplace again. But, well, yeah, that's that's one way to run away with your tail in between the legs. Kiryu ponders like, oh, devil killers, huh? Well, I wonder if they'll be important. Well, let's go to work. Let's actually get things done. You get yelled after being late. And as expected, our boss is really hungover. And then he asks, oh, did I fall down last night or something? My head really hurts. And you kind of plays coy, but he says, like, maybe at some point you should go to the hospital. I guess he did get his head walloped a few times last night. He might have a concussion. Anyways, yeah, well, we're at work, so we might as well get ready to start driving a taxi. We're just gonna talk to our dispatch secretary lady here, Hirokawa. She'll tell us where we got to go next to pick up something to do. But first things first, remember when we dropped off the apology gift for the guy at Tenjin? Well, he was so impressed that he decided to send us back a gift himself. Based on what you gave him the first part of the game, the quality of the gift varies. We gave him like one of the best ones, so we're gonna get the best items, which is a stamina and spark. That's like sort of like the mega elixir of this game. Like it heals all of your health, it fully boosts your heat gauge, and it's kind of nice to have one of those at this stage in the game. Anyways, Kiryu's like, well, I guess I should get to work now, but from the back, somebody asks, like, hey, are you heading out already? And this is one of our co-workers, Wada. Anyways, he wants a ride home with us. He wants us to give us a ride home, just as we're heading out on a route. You know, because it's on the way and it's too far for him to walk. And Kiryu's like, hey, no problem, man. I'll help you out. And Wada's like, sweet. But here comes a wet blanket. It's Muramatsu. You just look at him there, like, yeah, he's got to be a barrel of laughs. And he gives Wada shit, just like, hey, like, these taxis aren't for your personal use. Like, come on, man, you're one of the oldest drivers here. You should know better. And Nakajima just pipes in here, like, yeah, you're right. He is one of the older drivers here. And if Kiryu gives him a ride, Wada can give him advice on how he's doing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Everybody agrees to it eventually, and that kind of like puts Miramatsu in his place because there's a reason that Kiryu is giving Wada a drive, and this is all lead into one of the big parts of the game that's not part of the main story. It's another drama. There's sort of like really in-depth sub-stories that each character has related to their job, profession, or hobby that they have during their particular part of the game. And since Kiryu is a taxi driver, all of his missions in another drama involve him driving a taxi, and you actually drive the taxi firsthand. You actually take people to their destination, and when you're driving a taxi, you got to follow the rules of the road. You can't be a rough driver. You got to make sure you're signaling, stop for stoplights, don't hit anybody. That sounds like a really It sounds like a really big drag, but you see, you got to go all the way around the map there. It sounds like a really big drag, but it's not. It's lots of fun. It's lots of fun, and I wish there was more of these missions because you can whiz through them like really fast. And I really love the music for these missions. Like, it's so chill. It's just telling us to like accelerate gently. And if you look in the upper right there, you'll see like the guy's face like nodding. If you fuck up, like you'll be negative points going on. Intersections suck because people will actually race. They'll actually speed up to run into you. No, I got points off for accelerating too fast. I just got to get into the turning lane and gently apply the brake. It's one of the big things to lose points for is like braking way too fast. And this is telling you to put on your indicator. This is what I missed when I played these missions for the first time. I always forgot to do the turn signal, and I'd always wonder why I would do like a perfect turn, like on a green light, didn't hit anybody, but the customer would still get pissed off. It's because I guess they noticed that I wasn't using my indicator. I don't know why they would care. Oh, I got points for stopping correctly at a red light, and do the turn. And more points for doing safe driving. Now for the conversation aspect. This part is the most unfriendly to people who don't really know Japanese. While you're driving around, the customer will ask the question of you, and you have to respond pretty quickly based on what the four face button said. Like right now, Watt is asking us, like, "Oh, are you used to driving already?" And I missed it, so he got mildly pissed off, and he asked, "Are you used to it already?" And I'm just gonna say, "Hi, yes, I am." And I got a big boost there, plus 10. Oh, what the hell? Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. I thought the light was green. This is pretty much just a practice mission, so you can mess up a bunch and not have any worries about it. Here to turn on the indicator. Oh yeah, looking fine. It's not, and Wada's having a great time. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Pedestrians. Like even if you think that you could make it, like if you see somebody crossing and you're just like, oh, I have enough time to just get by, you're not going to because, like as I said, they'll actually speed up to like meet your car in the intersection. Yeah, do they do that in Japan? Do they really don't really care about self-preservation? They just want to prove a point to the taxi, like, hey, like don't speed up to cut us off or whatnot. Here's just a little stopping point here. Pretty important intersection here for people. And because I stopped there, I got more points for the bonus. And I'll have to wait forever for all these people to go. If there was a time limit on this mission, as they are for some of these driving ones, it'd be a pain in the butt. And nothing's oncoming, I don't think, so I can just turn in and drop Wada off. Yeah, clear. Now, when you first see the taxi driving missions, you'll be like, whoa, there's like tons. But yeah, there's only about 10 of these. 10 of these, I believe. The rest of them are conversation missions where you actually don't do driving. They're just basically, basically like conversation sub stories. Like some joker will come in and like say things, and you got to choose a correct response. And based on how you answer at the end of the day, you'll get points. Yeah, you level up points as you do these taxi missions, and as you level up, you get more access, you get more options as to souping up your taxi. Why would you want to soup up your taxi? Well, you'll find out route. You'll find out pretty quick. Ooh, here's another guy, and he's asking us for free. And if he can ride. Yeah, sure, that's fine. So the basic gist of what's going on here is that he's trying to strike up a conversation with Kiryu, and he's not really Kiryu's. He's like the strong silent type. He's not super conversational, and he's just giving him one-word answers like, yeah, I suppose, to whatever the guy's saying. Like right now, he's talking about like weather and stuff. Like, oh, today it's good weather, and he's like, sometimes it feels like fall is getting shorter and winter's getting longer, and yeah, he doesn't say a damn thing to that. So he's pushing the issues like, hey, so do you feel the same way? And he's like, well, nah, yeah, sure. And the customer is kind of like, geez, man, like, what the hell? I'm stuck with this really, really silent taxi driver, and it's pretty awkward in there right now. So yeah, he's gonna drop some signs on Kitty, who's just saying like, hey, taxi drivers, especially in this area, like, you know, they're really prided for having good conversational abilities with their passengers. Like that's what we really want when we get a taxi driver, like a guy who can talk to us. And Kiryu's like, yeah, I heard the same thing from my boss. Like, I should be doing this. Yeah, he just points out, like, yeah, like, when you're driving a taxi, you're really in customer service there, so you gotta have really good customer service skills. But Kiryu's wondering, like, well, what kind of conversation can I make? So the customer offers, like, hey, well, how about we just do some practice? Like, talk, I'll just pick a topic and you try to say what you think. And yeah, this is kind of like it's kind of like the tutorial for the conversation missions. So yeah, he's asking, so how's it going today? And you know, Kiryu's silent as always, and he's like, I asked you a question, dude. And Kiryu thinking to himself, and the options are like, oh, it's okay, it's rough, and this is the best answer. It's basically like, shut up. It's or like, you idiot. What they say in Osaka. It's a one of the prominent phrases here in like Osaka Ben. In comedy routines, that's what the one guy will usually say to another guy when he's acting like an idiot. So since there's really no repercussions for choosing anything wrong here, yeah, nande. And wow, that was shitty. Sorry about that. And yeah, he's really shocked by that. And Kiryu was just like, "Oh I really don't know what I was doing. I thought you were asking for you're asking for a comedic routine here." And the guy's like, "No, we were having a conversation. Like, what the hell?" And he goes on to like point out, like, why were you speaking in Kansai then? Like, or why were you speaking in like the Osakan dialect? Like, that's even stranger. Are you from Kansai? And he was like, no, no, I'm not. So yeah, they're just gonna continue on our conversation there. And he's asking, so are you used to the job yet? And yeah, he's just he's just kind of pointing out, like, yeah, I'm really not adjusted to the job yet, especially since he's like shouting out rude comments to the customers. And then he asks the guy, like, so what kind of work do you do? And the guy says, like, yeah, I'm kind of like a police officer, but let's change the topic, okay? And Kiryu's kind of like flustered right now. He's not doing too good of a job. I guess that's kind of my fault, but. And then he's asking, like, so all the food in the region, what do you think is the tastiest? And yeah, there's the Mizutaki, which we had last night. That's obviously the best answer. There's ramen, which is the kind of average answer because I don't think this Fukuoka area is really known for its ramen. And the worst answer is takoyaki, said in the Kansai dialect again, because takoyaki is a Osakan delicacy. And because I don't mind making Kiryu look like an asshole, we're just gonna choose that again. And he just screams it out. He's like, takoyaki, and then, and yeah, that just really throws this guy for another loop. And he just points out, like, that isn't a delicacy from our area, dude. And he's just like, man, I got stuck for a really strange taxi driver. And we're going on to a new topic, and he's talking about New Year's, and oh shit, it looks like we got hit by something. And Kiryu's like, shit. Oh, but anyways, the customer automatically recognizes a car as belonging to one of the Devil Killers. You know, that gang that Kiryu tussled with earlier, that stupid Nagata guy we did the climax heat on. And just points out, like, yeah, they're a racing group. And Kiryu thinks to himself, yeah, like, oh, I did see one of those guys earlier. And this is when the customer asks something unexpected. He wants us to have a race battle with this guy. And Kiryu is kind of shocked by this, but the guy goes on to explain, like, look, I am with the police. Like, if you go into a race battle with this guy, I'm not gonna like hold you accountable for anything that you do in this. So please just get into a race with that guy and win. And yeah, Kiryu's just like, well, let's do it. So yeah, another part of the another drama missions, racing. And this is why you want to soup up your taxi by getting good points in all of the taxi driving missions. Just to make your taxi go faster for these. None of your standard driving. Oh yeah, feel the Wangan midnight pulsing through my veins. Well, I didn't notice. I swear that Kiryu was frowning when I was in second place up there, and now he's kind of happy. Portrayed in the upper left. Guess we'll find out. Because another really annoying thing about this is it has a standard like cheesy race thing where if you're too far ahead of a guy, they'll do the slingshot thing where they'll just fucking fire in front of you, even though you're like cars way faster than theirs. But you can see the blue meter right beside the odometer there. That's my driving heat. I also have the turbo. And now I'm in the heat section. And yeah, you just hit the triangle to do a heat move. Put you pretty far ahead of where you were going super fast. The only problem is that you can only do each heat section once per race. So you got to really plan out where you're going to use your driving heat during each lap. Like you can do it on the first lap, but then if the guy slingshots ahead of you, you're kind of screwed for the end of the race. And here we're at the drive-in soba shop, shown in the intro. Stop here to, demonstrate that we won. Talk to the guy, and yeah, he recognizes him. And I guess this doesn't make much sense because he did crash into the guy. This guy did crash into Kiryu. Like obviously, it's because he thought he was a taxi driver from before. He kicked his ass. That's what I always thought. But no, he's shocked. He's like, "Oh, it's you!" So does he just like running into random guys? Like, that doesn't make sense. None of the matter is because he just called Kiryu an asshole and ran off.
Oi! Yeah.
So the customer is kind of like, whoa, you had some really good moves. Were you like a racer before? And Kiryu's like, no.
Yeah.
But as thanks for, taking this devil killer guy out, winning a race against him, he wants to treat us to dinner.